Alright, I'm going to do a little Ant-Man and the Wasp spoiler talk here. Don't do too many spoiler talk videos for the movies. I have the review for this film on my website, soundandbettermyhead.com. Try to have no spoilers in there. This is all spoiler talk. So I don't do it for a ton of movies, like the stuff that I'm really into, the Marvel films, the DC stuff. I would do like a bigger Star Wars film. But I'm just go ahead and do a quick spoiler talk on Ant-Man and the Wasp. Like I said, I ended up giving it 2.5 stars. I kind of thought about maybe giving it 3, and this is out of 5. But it just, I don't know, just fell short of expectations. Let's see, let's kind of go through it a little bit. It was a good example of like the opening sequence with Scott and his daughter was really cute. I love their chemistry. So I think it just went on a little too long. I mean, I know they're trying to establish a lot of different things that they had to set up for this movie about him being on house arrest and him spending time with her, and that he's got this new company that he started, and a whole bunch of other stuff they're trying to slip in there. And it just went on a little too long. It was cute. I mean, it wasn't like I couldn't wait for the end, and I couldn't wait for it to stop. It just that I was like, wow, this thing's still going. And that was just a small gripe, nothing too big. And then the movie gets pretty quickly into the plot. You meet the villain, Sonny Birch, who had a decent little slimy charm, which is great for the role that he was supposed to be. He's this shady arms dealer that tries to screw over Hope, and it really should have been the last of him. And he just kept showing up more and more throughout the movie. It's like, this guy is just kind of a third wheel here. Right after we meet him, we meet the real villain, Ghost. And now you got, having Ghost and Sonny Birch and the heroes all trying to get their hands on basically the same thing, the miniaturized lab. And I don't know, just ended up being a little bit too much. I mean, some things that he did kind of help propel the plot, but it almost would have been better that either A, Ghost was working for him, which I thought they were going to do at first, because she just showed up and I thought that was going to be, oh my god, that's his hitman. That's his, not even hitman, his secret weapon. And then he didn't know who she was, so. Or the opposite, that Ghost had hired some thugs to help her get this stuff. But no, they were some other random element in the plot. Even the segment where it just was too drawn out. When he wanted to get the location of the lab and he had to give the true serum to Luis. I mean, and eventually became a hilarious segment. Luis is just going off, doing his whole little shtick where they show all the cut scenes and it's people talking with his voice, which they did in the first film. But it was just kind of a long setup to get there, and just all these side characters that aren't that important. I mean, I know they're trying to give something for them to do, and you had to get T.I. in there, and you had to get the other friend, the Russian friend. I don't remember his name. And I don't know, that was kind of corny. And going back now to Ghost being the main villain, they wanted there to be this sympathetic villain that she can't control her powers really, and it's going to kill her, and that's why she's trying to do what she's doing. But when you do something like that, I don't know, you kind of either go one way or the other. Like, there's got to be this breaking point where the person's like, I got to be bad, this is going to save my ass, and I got to be a villain. Which is where she kind of started going. She's almost ready to kidnap the daughter of Scott, and then they just pulled her back, and I don't know, and then she was healed, and she just went on to be alright. I don't know, she had a tragic backstory. I don't know, they did not just make me feel that, that much sympathy for her. I wasn't like, oh my god, I feel for her. It's like, yeah, I mean, you feel bad for her, but it just didn't capture me like it should have. And then they just pulled back for her turning into a villain, which, I don't know, it was just weird line they tried to walk, and I didn't think they did it too successfully. And the other disappointment with her is with her power set, they really didn't do that much innovative. Like, the biggest thing they did with her was the scene they showed in all the trailers where she phases through the car, turns solid, kicks the guy off the motorcycle. But she really doesn't do anything that cool the rest of the time. And there's a part, where she threatens Pym. She's got her hand through his neck, and if she would, become solid, she would kill him. But for the most part, all the fights with her are just people try to hit her, and she's intangible, and it doesn't do anything. And then she tries to hit him back, and you think they maybe come up with some cool way to at least defeat her, make her solid, trick her into being solid for a second. But it just ended up being she got hit by a magical, I don't know, not magical, but she got hit by this little submarine thing and got knocked on her ass, and even that, she just got back up. I don't know. I thought there should have been a better way that they beat her, and then they treat her for her problem and try to make her whole again, like they kind of promised they would. But I don't know. So I thought she was just a waste. Not a waste, but a disappointment. Also disappointing, the movie was hyped up so much as Ant-Man and the Wasp, and it's like, okay, these two are going to be fighting crime together, and they weren't even talking when the film starts. She still don't want to deal with them any more than she had to, and only when they absolutely needed to did they team up. I mean, yeah, they squashed things, and they were kind of back to being a couple again. But you didn't get Ant-Man and the Wasp. You got Ant-Man and Wasp. I don't know. It was mildly disappointing. I see what they were trying to do with it. Pym was Pym. Good acting, really great acting by Michael Douglas. You get a little bit of his former co-workers revealing this guy's kind of an asshole, which jives with the comic book Pym, who was kind of a dickhead too. I mean, he smacked his wife around and did a lot of shady shit back in the day. So nice little touch there. He got to do a little something. He got to put on a cool suit and go micro and try to save his wife. So that was cool. The special effects overall solid. It's kind of distracting. They did a great job in the intro where you've seen a young Michael Douglas and a young Michelle Pfeiffer with this CGI de-aging effect. But it's kind of distracting because you waste a lot of time trying to look for flaws or checking it out, and it almost kind of loses you because you're like, ooh. It's like trying to figure out how someone did a magic trick. And I kind of another character that actually ended up being kind of good was Jimmy Woo. First he seems like he's just gonna be just kind of a straight up. I think someone compared him like an Agent Coulson, just kind of like this agent checking on him. But he had this quirky like sense of humor to him. Not even a sense of humor, just the way they played him was kind of funny. He kind of played nice off of Paul Rudd's humor for the film. And this, like I said, a few other characters seem kind of just shoot him, hoard in. I mean, they had to get his ex-wife in, and she had to get her new boyfriend Paxton. And his big shtick this time is like he just really, really liked the hug, and that's it. He showed up once or twice in the movie, said a couple things, and he made sure to get a big hug in at the end. It wasn't special. They were just trying to squeeze him in there somewhere. You almost could have just had one scene to show that she's still with them, and then maybe she shows up later without him. The overall action. 90% of the best shit's in the commercials and trailers. Like, if you see all that, you're not missing much, action-wise. There's just little bits and pieces. And actually, some of it, the way it fits in the plot is not as cool as the way it looks in the trailer. Like, it's actually kind of not the best, use of their powers for that sequence. There wasn't as many, like, I don't know. They just could have did better with some of the action. The humor was good overall. There was some stuff that was pretty damn funny. Some stuff they tried too hard. The whole sequence where his suit wasn't working at the school and he ended up shrinking down to the size of a small child. There's some parts of that were really funny. Some of it was just corny. And that's another weird thing about Scott Lang. In the first film, yeah, this guy makes mistakes, but he's really intelligent and. He adapted pretty quickly. He learned this, how to be a superhero and be the Ant-Man. In this film, he's kind of a little dim-witted. Like, he does dumb extra. The stuff he does is a little extra dumb. Just every time they have like a talk about like tech, he's just extra lost. Like, it seems like, he learned how to work on the suit himself. Like he made it where he can grow according to Captain America: Civil War. He changed it. He figured out the regulator on his own. And Pym had to warn him not to mess with it too much. But, he figured this technology out, and then he just seemed clueless. Like I said, I didn't hate the film. It was just, like I said, just disappointing. It had a chance to, like, really be cool, and it just kind of dropped the ball. My mother just jumped to the end. You got, they finally find Michelle Pfeiffer, Janet Van Dyne in the quantum realm. And I didn't like they didn't explain anything. Like, they told you earlier in the film that time doesn't work the same way in the quantum realm, and yet she still aged like a normal person should have aged. Like, I read in an interview that they just thought it would be too confusing to the audience that she looks young, but you already said that time doesn't work the same. I could see her maybe just aging slower or something. I don't know. It was a little weird, and when she disappeared, she just had the wasp suit on, and then now in the quantum realm, she somehow has this little shawl that she's wearing. I don't know where the hell she got the shawl from. You know, was it something she was wearing under the super suit? Did she somehow find it? They don't explain it. It's so vague. She theoretically shouldn't have had anything to eat for the last 30 years in this quantum realm, but she's fine. I mean, still a little science. We know that she was absorbing energy while she was in there. A little line that's what was keeping her sustained. You know, she was actually getting nourishment from this energy, and it kind of changed her. And I feel like a lot of people were lost after she got out because she touches Ghost, and turns out she didn't cure her, but she stabilized her. Everyone was like, how does she have magical healing powers? But I took it as she absorbed all this energy, and we know that Ghost needed that energy to stabilize herself. So I think she just was able to, release some of that energy to Ghost. I mean, maybe they needed the line that let the audience know a little better what was going on. But basically, then we go to the mid-credits, and I'll skip all the way to the end credit just because it was so garbage. The very last credit, not even worth staying. It's this fucking scene in the fucking trailers of the ant playing the drums. And there's already a scene in the movie where he's playing the drums. It's the exact same thing. The only difference is for a second you see, a few seconds before that you see that the house seems kind of deserted and that the TV's on the emergency broadcast, so implying, the world's gone to shit after Infinity War. And then the jokes, meanwhile the ant's still doing Scott Lang's routine. And it was stupid. I mean, was in the trailer. I mean, it was in the commercial. You already seen it. So that was a letdown. The mid-credit scene was cool. Scott goes in the quantum realm. They are about to pull him out, and then he loses contact, and then you see that they all died from Thanos snapping his fingers. And now Scott's stuck in the quantum realm. We know that somehow he ends up out in time for Avengers 4 or whatever we're going to call it, and he helps out. There was kind of a quick throwaway line that she mentions something about what does she call him? There was some type of temporal phenomenon he was supposed to avoid while he was in there, so possibly that this is a way for time traveling. Maybe that's how he gets out, or that's what they use to help stop Thanos. We've seen the film photos from the Avengers set where it looks like it's the first Avengers film, all the costumes and the way everybody looked, except Scott Lang's there in the Ant-Man suits. I don't know. It's just a little tidbit towards what we could maybe expect towards the next Infinity or the next Avengers film. And that's really all I got. I just felt like doing a mini rant on the film. Thought it was just me. I watched a couple other reviews, and a lot of people pointed out the same basic stuff that I was saying. I don't know if they're going to get a third film. Maybe they can do some cool stuff. Maybe Bill Foster finally becomes Goliath, and you could get like a Goliath giant man fight or something fun. You kind of hate these movies. It's like people kind of complain sometimes that the first film they're always fighting a person with similar powers. Like the first one he fought another guy that shrank, or the first Hulk, or the only Hulk, he fought a guy that was a Hulk-like creature. Captain America fought someone with super soldier serum in him. And then the next film you try to change it up, and then here it's someone that could turn intangible. And I don't think it was a good blend of powers versus powers. The shrinking guy and then the ghost ability. But I don't know. That's really I got. I probably went on too long. So thanks for watching. Again, I got a better version of this review. No spoilers on my website, and I got my comic strips, some other movie reviews, some TV shows, and that sounded better in my head.com. And thanks for watching.